What would you do if your wife left you for a life of luxury, only to vanish without a trace? And when her body is found, it's missing something crucial. Was it a love story gone wrong or something far more dangerous? Stick around because the truth behind this story is more shocking than anyone could imagine. Welcome to True Crime Tapes, where we bring you the most gripping, mysterious, and heart-stopping stories from the world of true crime. If you're fascinated by the unknown and want to uncover the secrets that the world tries to hide, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chilling story. And for those of you already part of our community, welcome back. We're glad to have you with us. Drop a comment below to share your thoughts and theories because we love hearing from you. True Crime Tapes. The truth is always stranger than fiction. Clara had always been the picture of happiness. A devoted wife to Robert, a loving mother to their 2 children, and a woman who seemed to have it all. But behind the closed doors of their seemingly perfect family life, something was not right. Clara's sudden decision to leave for Dubai, without much explanation, sent shockwaves through her family. Robert, unable to reach her for days, became frantic. He tried calling, sending messages, and even reaching out to friends and family who might know where she was. But nothing. Then, a week after Clara's departure, Robert received a text from her. "I'm fine. Just adjusting to everything here." That was the last he ever heard from her. Days turned into weeks, and the silence was deafening. The calls to the police didn't help much. Clara had left no clear trace. She had cut off almost everyone who cared about her. But then, a shocking discovery came from the other side of the world: Dubai. Authorities found half of Clara's body dumped in a desolate area, far from the luxurious world she had been living in. The rest of her was nowhere to be found. It was a horrific scene, and it left more questions than answers. Why only half of her body? Where was the rest? And how did she end up in such a gruesome state? The Dubai police had their work cut out for them. They began to investigate Clara's connections. One name kept coming up: Omar Al-Farid, a wealthy Dubai Sheikh with powerful ties across the city. Clara had been in contact with him just before her trip. Robert was shocked. Who was this man and why was Clara in contact with him? The deeper they dug into Omar's life, the more unsettling things became. People who had crossed paths with him spoke in hushed tones about his connections to a network of influential people and shady business dealings. But no one had concrete proof. Could Clara have gotten involved in something dangerous? Was Omar's world of wealth and power a deadly trap for her? Robert couldn't help but think back to the last few days he had with Clara. She had seemed distant. She had spoken about feeling trapped in her marriage, about needing to leave. But leaving everything behind, the kids, the home, was that really her plan? Or was there something else going on? As the investigation continued, Robert began to learn more disturbing details. Clara had been acting erratically in the weeks before her departure. She had made strange comments to her friends about feeling suffocated by the life she had built. But was it enough to explain her disappearance? Then a key piece of evidence came to light: a conversation Clara had with Omar. In it, she mentioned feeling like she had no way out. She wanted something more than what her life in the US could offer. But was that just a cry for help? Or did she know too much about the people around her, people who would stop at nothing to keep their secrets buried? As Robert sat alone, struggling to make sense of it all, the pieces didn't add up. Why had Clara stopped communicating? Why had she cut ties with everyone who loved her? And why had she chosen to go to Dubai, of all places? Every question seemed to lead to Omar. But why would a sheikh with everything to lose get involved in a woman's disappearance? The investigation was at a standstill. The police had no answers and Robert was desperate for closure. Then a break came. A witness in Dubai reported seeing Clara with Omar just days before her death. The witness claimed they were in a car together, but no one knew where they had gone after that. Now the real question remained: what had happened to the rest of Clara's body? And what had she uncovered that led to her death? Had she discovered something that caused her to become a target? Or had she simply been trying to escape a life she no longer wanted? The investigation was about to take a turn, and the truth, whatever it was much darker than anyone could have ever imagined. Robert sat in his living room, staring at the empty space where Clara's belongings once filled the house. It had been weeks since she'd left for Dubai, and the silence was suffocating. Clara wasn't just his wife, she was the mother of his children, the person he thought he knew better than anyone. Yet, as the investigation into her disappearance unfolded, Robert realized how little he truly understood her. Robert had always seen Clara as strong, selfless, and devoted. But now he started to question everything. Had he missed the signs? He replayed the days leading up to her departure, searching for answers. Clara had always seemed happy, but there were moments when something felt off. She'd spoken about feeling trapped in their life, about needing a change, but Robert never thought it would go this far. The investigation painted a different picture of Clara. People closest to her revealed that she had been struggling long before she left. She had spoken to friends about feeling disconnected, about wanting more than what she had. But it wasn't just about her marriage. Clara had been hiding something that went deeper than her dissatisfaction with family life. She had confided in a few people about a growing fear that her life in the US had become a cage. The pressure to maintain the perfect family image was weighing on her, and she wanted to escape. But was it just that simple? Did Clara really leave to find herself, or was there something darker at play? As the investigation into Clara's death deepened, it became clear that her connection with Omar Al-Farid wasn't just coincidental. Witnesses started coming forward, claiming they had seen Clara and Omar in more than just a business relationship. Was there an affair? Had Clara gotten involved with someone who had dangerous ties? Robert couldn't shake the nagging feeling that Omar knew more than he was letting on. Omar Al-Farid, the wealthy Dubai Sheikh, was everything Robert wasn't. He had power, money, and the kind of influence that could make people disappear without a trace. Omar had a polished image, charming and approachable, but was that all just a mask? People who had worked with him spoke highly of him, but there were whispers that he didn't just make deals in business but also in secrecy, in ways that went beyond the law. But what was Omar's role in Clara's disappearance? Did he simply sweep her into his world of excess, or did something go wrong? Investigators soon found that Omar had been a part of an international network that dealt in more than just business deals. His connections reached far beyond the city of Dubai, with rumors of hidden agendas and dangerous secrets. As more details emerged, it became clear that Omar was more than just a wealthy businessman. He had ties to shady figures in the world of organized crime. Yet something didn't add up. Clara had started showing signs of fear shortly before she left. She had started distancing herself from Omar, telling friends she felt overwhelmed by the direction her life was going. Was Clara trying to back out of something she had gotten herself into, or was she already in too deep to escape? Robert felt torn. He wanted to believe Clara was just a victim of a dangerous world she couldn't control. But the deeper he looked into her life, the more he realized she was keeping secrets too. She had been in contact with people, possibly even trying to get out of whatever had entangled her with Omar. Robert didn't want to believe it, but the evidence started pointing to one conclusion. Clara was no longer just his wife. She was involved in something far bigger, something that put her in harm's way. The investigation was starting to reveal more about Clara's character. She wasn't just the woman Robert thought he knew. She had been living with fears and secrets, trying to balance a family, a life, and the pressure to keep up appearances. But could she have left her family behind for the life Omar promised? Was it escape, or was it a mistake that cost her everything? And Omar? Was he the charming businessman who swept Clara off her feet, or was he a man hiding behind layers of lies and deception? With every new piece of the puzzle, Robert found himself questioning everything he knew about the woman he had loved. Clara had been hiding something from him, something she couldn't escape. But could Robert uncover the truth before it was too late? As the investigation continued, clues pointed to an even darker web of lies that no one had anticipated. Clara's story was just one part of a much larger picture, one that threatened to pull Robert deeper into a world of crime, deception, and betrayal. The deeper they dug, the more Robert realized that he might never truly know the woman he married. But he couldn't stop now. Not with so many unanswered questions, not with Clara's death hanging over him. Who could he trust? What was real and what had been a lie? And most importantly, what had really happened to Clara? Robert couldn't sleep. The empty space beside him in bed seemed colder every night. The phone calls, the messages, the questions. Clara was gone, and he was left with nothing but her absence. He replayed their last conversation, her voice calm, almost too calm. "I'm just adjusting," she had said. Was it a warning? Or a lie? The investigators were making progress, but every new detail about Clara's life felt like a gut punch. Robert had always thought they were a team. But now, as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Clara had been hiding more than just her feelings. She had kept things from him, things that, had he known, might have changed everything. One of the most difficult parts of the whole ordeal was dealing with their two young children. They kept asking for Mommy, not understanding why she wasn't there. Robert struggled to explain to them that Mommy wasn't coming back. How could he explain the truth when he didn't fully understand it himself? Days turned into weeks, and the investigation into Clara's death continued. Robert was learning things about her he never expected. The more they uncovered about her relationship with Omar, the more Robert felt betrayed. It wasn't just about Clara leaving him, it was about her involvement with someone dangerous, someone he now realized had probably been pulling the strings from the very beginning. But there was something that still didn't sit right with Robert. Despite all the evidence suggesting Clara had been involved with Omar, a part of him refused to believe it. She had always been a loving mother and a devoted wife. Could she really have made the kind of choices that led her to this? Could she have truly been that unhappy? The Clara he knew would never have put her family at risk. Yet, the more the police dug into Omar's background, the clearer it became that Clara had been living in a world far removed from Robert's. Omar Al-Farid wasn't just a wealthy businessman, he was a man with connections to people who were willing to do anything to protect their interests. And now, Clara was caught in the middle of it all. As Robert tried to piece together the last few months of Clara's life, he found himself overwhelmed by grief. He had always known there were cracks in their relationship, but he never imagined they would lead to this. The nights were the hardest. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Clara's face, smiling as if nothing was wrong. And then, in the next moment he saw her body, half of it found, the other half still missing. The emotional toll on Robert was unbearable. Each new detail about Clara's involvement with Omar felt like a betrayal, but what hurt the most was the realization that Clara had been hiding her struggles from him. The woman he loved, the woman he had built a life with, was gone, and in her place was a woman he didn't know. Then a new lead came in. It was a piece of information so shocking that it made Robert's blood run cold. A close friend of Clara's came forward, revealing something she had never told anyone before. Clara had planned to leave Omar, to expose him for the criminal activities he was involved in. She had started gathering evidence, documenting everything. But before she could go through with it, she had disappeared. Was Clara trying to escape a life she didn't want? Or had she become entangled in a dangerous game that she couldn't get out of? Robert couldn't shake the feeling that Clara's death wasn't just about her escaping. It was about something much bigger. Something that could have put her life in jeopardy long before she ever left for Dubai. The grief was heavy, but it was the uncertainty that kept Robert awake at night. Had Clara been part of something much darker than he could have ever imagined? And if she was trying to escape, why didn't she come to him? As the investigation moved forward, the pressure on Robert grew. The more he learned, the more confused he became. Clara's secrets were unraveling, but was he ready to face the truth about the woman he thought he knew? The emotional aftermath of Clara's death was profound, not just for Robert, but for everyone who had known her. Her friends, her family, and the children she left behind all struggled to understand why she had made the choices she did. The truth was coming to light, but at what cost? In the end, Robert was left with a broken heart and an even deeper sense of betrayal. The woman he had loved, the mother of his children, was gone, and the answers seemed impossible to grasp. Would he ever find peace, or would Clara's secrets haunt him forever? The truth was still out there, but as each day passed, it seemed further and further away. The investigation had revealed more questions than answers. Robert stood in his living room, looking out the window, still processing everything he had learned. Clara, the woman he thought he knew, had been hiding something much darker. The more he learned about her ties to Omar, the deeper the mystery became. It was clear now, her disappearance wasn't just a case of a woman wanting to escape her life. There was more to the story, and it was only beginning to unfold. His world had been shattered, and now, all he had were fragments of a story that didn't make sense. What had Clara gotten herself into? Why hadn't she trusted him enough to tell him the truth? What do you think happened to Clara? Was she trying to escape, or was she caught in something far more dangerous than we could imagine? We want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's piece together the mystery of Clara's disappearance. Do you believe Omar knew more than he's letting on? Or do you think Clara was trying to escape the pressure of her life, only to find herself in a deadly trap? What about the rest of Clara's body? What happened to it, and why was it hidden from view? Leave your theories and thoughts in the comments below. We'll be reading every one of them. The truth behind Clara's disappearance is still out there, but what do you think happened that night? Was she a victim, or did she make choices that led her to this tragic end? Comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this case. Your theories matter. Your voice counts. Join the conversation.